All right. Well, who's introducing us?
Timmy's the best at it.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that's me. So thanks everybody for tuning in to Snug Butte Dungeons Incorporated. Actually mute myself on the stream so I'm not getting
I did the same
feedback
thing.
there. But welcome to Snug Butte Dungeons Incorporated. This is our Sunday Night Dresden Files campaign, Big Trouble in the Big Easy. As always, I am Tim playing Dev. We have Tyler on Romaine and Colin playing Austin. Thank you so much. Before I introduce our final person, because that's the handoff. Thanks so much to everybody who's followed or subscribed. If you haven't followed, please do. It costs you nothing. You can turn off the notifications, so you don't even have to see when we start broadcasting, but it does really help us with numbers, things like that. And subscriptions, we are affiliate now, so you can subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch subscription every month. So if you're not using that, even if you don't use it on us, use it on somebody to, help us create content, help them create content. Big streamers, they don't need your money. They've got your money.
Fact.
Find a small streamer, help them out. We do really appreciate it. But yes, that is also always an option. Feel like I was going somewhere, but yes, that leads me back into the more that we get in the way of follows, subs, views, things like that, the more we can put back into it. Which brings me to my next point, which is hopefully before too long, she's got another campaign's worth of characters to go through, but we will be getting Mary Kane Art, who does all of the art. I already got it, Colin. I'm there.
Oh, okay.
Colin's Googling it.
You could find her Instagram in the chat, but she's done all the art for our Friday campaign. She's working on our Saturday D&D campaign right now, and hopefully after she wraps that up, we'll get some faces to the names of Austin, Romaine, and Dev. But yeah, so as I said, her Instagram link is in the chat. I think that is all the nuts and bolts, so I'm going to hand it on off to Kyle, our game master. Take it away.
All right. So today we're going to start a brand new arc. We've been looking over the rules and figuring out that we have never really announced any arcs before. So now we're going to try to start doing that ahead of time so you guys know what we're doing. Wow. Okay. All right, so we had a really long conversation about what we really should name this campaign, and it's going to be Fall of Rain and Fall of Rains, and we have given up on Butcherian naming construction, which really only concerns like 5 or 6 people out of the 10. So, week 1 is going to be there will come soft rains. For everyone who's in town right now, which is going to be all of you, I was concerned that Colin was going to make it. So everyone's in town. You're all aware that the entire city of New Orleans is under the rainfall aspect.
Okay.
Basically, it's harder to cast magic. Any person can compel a spellcaster to stop any casting of a spell they're doing. It's going to be harder to cast spells in general. But I'll try to only work that with compels rather than just a flat negative anywhere else.
Rockin'.
Okay. It's only when you're outside, because it's a spell casting thing. For everyone else, for everyone else who knows who's been in New Orleans, it's been about a year since our last game, just to place us, just to keep us moving along, so these guys don't gain too much power too fast and get ganked by some kind of random god who's afraid of their power levels. So now we're about in the year 2003, from what I understand. I don't mean. Just so we're moving forward in time. That time period. So it's been about a year. You've heard a bunch of stories. Romaine himself has been reporting every single month to his resident warden, which was Morgan. trying to make sure that he has not reported. It was Sean himself?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Good.
Hmm.
Right, you're correct. You've been reporting to Sean pretty much on a monthly basis. You haven't seen Sean. He didn't report last month, but he is due to appear to you this month. You are waiting in Magic Inc. For that meeting up, and you're ready to go. You're welcome to have a conversation with Gwen.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
In the shell. Oh, he's gone. No, is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Who's frozen? Is it me? Crap. Okay, am I unfrozen now?
Yes.
Yes? Yeah, okay, good. Good. Okay. Where was I at? Oh, we can talk to Gwen. Dev, I think, is welcome to be around, because unless you explicitly wanted to, your whatever relationship with Gwen is probably progressed about a year's worth of time. Mainly because she's so impressed by the fact that you just didn't bumble it in Fairy 3 times in a row. She's just pretty much thinks that Dev's the guy. He at least is not an idiot. He's not an idiot. That's what we all know.
Yeah.
As for Austin, I don't know what you've been doing for the last year. It's really up to you.
Catching bad guys, taking names, chewing bubblegum, you know,
Feeding spiders. That's the right one.
appeasing my higher ups.
Sucking off a Nazi, basically.
About to shoot some whip.
No, not necessarily. If you could have entered. Yeah, this is
been
still
around the house once or twice.
This is still the closest thing to a neutral accorded territory in New Orleans. No one's applied for it, but everyone knows not to mess around with Gwen or the library at this point. So,
Or neutral grounds.
well, no, neutral grounds is actually explicitly not a neutral grounds accorded neutral territory, and it is just a misleading name. They only sell good coffee and don't have a strife in like a bunch of international conflicts. It's very misleading for us. Very great Easter egg, yeah. Yeah, which is a very small group of people, so we won't point out more Easter eggs like that. Anyway, so you are waiting at Magic Inc. This would not be the first time. You're welcome to have been meeting here the whole time. I'm just doing this so I have all you in one place. Okay. Okay. What do you want? Okay. It's pretty basic. But sure. No questions? Oh yeah, I mean, basic rules, no questions, no answers, I guess. She gets started on your full sleeve snake tattoo.
Wait, the real question, which one is it? Because you said a band, and then you said a full sleeve.
That's a true point.
So
basically, it's a snake pattern in kind of like a offset down.
Okay.
So she gets started on your tattoo. You're welcome to have a conversation if she wants to, or we're going to skip ahead to the.
Is it one of those things?
18 hours it's
like
going to take.
Your hand, there's like it's the snake biting, or like what is the?
On the knuckle, yeah. Is it really menacing, or is it like just like cute? You know, it's 2 options there.
I'm a slithery little snake.
Perfect. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So, magical snake tattoo.
Trying to look badass. I mean,
we tried to make him make fun of his tattoo, but he had a plan for it.
Yeah.
All right. So you do finish up your magical snake tattoo just in time for your big meeting. You hear wind rushing overhead.
That's not going to be finished. That's going to take hours.
You've been working on it. You've known what you
Okay.
wanted before. This is, of course, a very convenient end of your tattoo being ready and
Okay.
able to go, and the beginning of the campaign. So, you hear wind rushing overhead.
Yeah. Okay.
Either way, no matter how this year has gone with your tattooing experience, you hear the wind rushing overhead. Sean actually appears on the front door in front of the shop. You see Sean, as you've seen him for the past few 2 or 3 times. You've seen him with an eye patch over his eye. He's grown a large amount of facial hair to the point where it's like a really established beard. He's got a huge scar going right down from here to his neck and like down into his chest. He got into a Lugaroo attack over in Chicago about a couple months ago.
Wait, who is
And
this? I missed.
oh,
who
this
you
is
were
this
talking
is Sean McClue.
about. Oh, McClure. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
continue.
he's gotten into so yeah,
No, I know.
he's got a much different appearance now. He now shows up like a veteran of war, of a very scary magical war. But he's still really chipper. Yeah, he's still really chipper. He's never changed anything about that. So he'll just see him with the eye patch. He's like, "Hi guys, what's going on?"
That Scott of I can't even find this accent right now. Austin Cash. Anyway, really cool scar there you got right now down on the side. That looks dope.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy thing. A Lugaroo will cut right through a magical shield and just carve you right down the middle. If I didn't know magic, I would have been cut in half. It's crazy.
Wow. I bet the ladies like a good scar. Yeah.
Well, I've never done poorly with the ladies. Something about that attitude and charm.
I know that feeling.
I'm gonna take my hand off my eyes now.
Do you, Austin? Do you?
Well, I mean, I don't do so bad, I guess.
Romaine,
at least
it
a date.
Romaine, it is time for you to do your test. Anything you want to report? Any necromancy you've committed? All right. Well, you've said that every single month I've been here. Well, go ahead. So animancy, for everyone on the stream, since now we're gonna tell you how this actually works. Animancy is like an elevated form of your own biological healing process. You aren't gonna regrow a limb without like some substantial magic going on. Like
Lots of juice.
lots of juice. We're talking like equal exchange kind of rules here.
I've seen how that goes.
That's not a smart move. It's not.
I don't want to be in a suit of armor.
Right. With time.
Mhm.
Well, what we're talking about is like a stem cell regeneration from like a nascent thing in his eye. And I'm not even sure I'm using the science correctly because I'm pretty sure I'm not. Oh, the scar? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it'll take like 50 years, so you have to just speed it up a lot to get the scar out of the way. He got like magically, eldritchly scratched. It's rough times.
Yeah.
It would take a substantial amount of stuff, and it would like be really obvious what you're doing. Not explicitly evil. As we learn in the next couple seconds, all of these moments of out of character talk were, of course, important because we're actually going to tell you that Sean finds no necromancy on the soul of Romaine, as he hasn't found it all year, even though Romaine has been making his living as a necromancer for the past year. Necromancer. He is a professional animancer. Although that's just a fancy word that Death gave you to make sure you didn't break any of your big fancy rules. Anyway, Sean continues on with his check. Well, as with every single month I've been here, no single evidence of necromancy. So how goes the repairing of the swamp? Have you been on that? Yes, you definitely would have. The meeting of the Swamp Thing probably would have happened around 9 months ago. I'm trying to place you in the beginning of fall. You have been repairing the swamp slowly and steadily. You have learned that with a little bit of use of the animancy, the consecration that you learned from Father Shenanigans, and the excellently preserved specimens from the swamp thing, you have been slowly able to reintroduce plant life back into the swamp. It has been slow going. You haven't been able to get more than like a square mile per month or so with your free time, like just because it's a huge area of space. And even with a huge consecration spell, you're still talking about getting a minuscule part of that. It's been slow going, but you are working. Yes, it is functional. Since then, though, you have not seen anything about Bony Tony or Slender James. Either they have not found it to be a great feeding ground anymore without all the air of mystery and death and trees, or you've spooked them enough in your last two encounters that they don't want to talk to you anymore. Either way. Either way, any option that's true is here in the realm of possibility.
Could be anything. Could be anything.
All right. Well, I can certainly understand that. Things do not heal easy. It is much easier to destroy than to create. I just, well, I wish we could be done with all of this formality. Things have not been easy in the White Council recently. He looks around. He looks around exaggeratedly with one eye, so it's not actually all that easy as when two people do it. Two-eyed people do it. So he's doing like this. Between you and me,
Yeah.
between you and me, things have been really weird in the White Council. A lot of the wardens have been starting to fight authority. I don't want to tell you because you'll get a big head about it, but you seem pretty down to earth and you're not really part of anything. They don't think it's appropriate to start killing the warlocks immediately. Like you, a warlock who seems to be doing fine. Problem is, oh, sorry. Go ahead. I know. And you didn't break any rules, but they think that warlocks like you should be stricken down immediately. Well, the older hands. But the newer guys, led by Morgan of all people, thinks that we really should be giving you guys a second chance. You necessarily evil warlocks. Well, I have been inspecting you week on week on week, and I have seen no evidence of dark magic. So I can't imagine that you're possibly evil, unless you're tricking me. But you wouldn't do that. Anyway, are you really going to do that? What does this thing actually do outside of just like going out? He leaps back. He's like, "Okay, hey, that was oh, I didn't really need that. Okay, my nerves are a little bit way high right now. Anyway, uh, hold up. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, well, that's all I'll really say because I'll get in trouble if I say anything more, especially to a person who's outside of the council. Well, there's your friend, and then there's your other friend, and then there's his patron, and then there's my great aunt. Even though you're not on great terms with him, I hear Dev is on great terms with her. Auntie Gwen? She knows every single person. I don't know any single person who hasn't met Auntie Gwen before at least once. Okay, fine, that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Anyone who's important, anyone who matters.
Okay, there, Romaine.
That's a proposition if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
I'm flattered, Romaine, but unfortunately, I do not move in that direction. So I will decline. I'm going to be really polite to you and let you go. Have a nice day. He was going to walk out the door. So let's move on to Dev. In the last year, you guys have been trying to do your best to find your next member of the Firebugs.
Mm-hmm.
It has been really slow going. You've learned that as you move through the Never Never, you can try to get a slight or scarce signal, but the landscape of the Never Never is so shifty that honestly, if it's too far out, it can shift away before you can even have a chance to latch on.
It's in that direction. It's in that direction.
Exactly.
It's in that direction.
Or it's in this direction, but 200 or 720 degrees forward. So you gotta have that whole different way to move. So you haven't really had a good chance there. But recently, you've been testing Janet's information, DNA information. Brad had it, which is of course why we're moving on to Janet.
Yep.
So we've been testing Janet stuff, and you have been able to get a scarce signal heading out towards Lake Pontchartrain. That is the lake directly north of New Orleans.
Okay.
It's that big Pontchartrain. It's very strange. It's a very weird spelling.
Pontchartrain.
Yeah, it's the lake directly above New Orleans. Anyone who's a local, I am completely forgetting who that is. I think it's Romaine and Dev.
Yeah.
So he's not even here yet right now, so I'll just let you guys know. The lake actually has a pretty intense urban legend history around it. Basically, heavy rains, heavy winds, all those kind of things have been known to cause a monster to appear in the middle that demands sacrifice. Anyone who is foolish enough to go out into these heavy rainstorms gets killed. Obviously, as people in the modern day have explained to you, these are just stories about people who get stuck in heavy storms on the lake and can't find their way back to shore. There is nothing to these talks about swamp monsters and lake monsters inside of Lake Pontchartrain. This is just a true fact and simple enough to understand. You know, as you know.
No,
that's actually not that's not the swamp monster I'm talking about. That's a whole different guy.
That's a swamp monster. This is a lake monster. There's a difference.
There's a deeper hunger. You know how these things work.
That one is connected to the green. Used to be a scientist named Alec Holland. It was a whole thing. This one, though, is...
This one was born in the lake and will die in the lake, and you will too. Anyway, the rain continues falling as you guys leave your first few areas. We'll go ahead and run Deb's next scene himself. Where are you probably at this point in time? Are you watching the trial? Are you checking in with Gwen? Are you doing your job as a financier?
Well, what day of the week is it? Because that'll...
That's a good point. Wednesday.
I am probably actually at my internship today.
The internship. What do they call you at the internship? What do they call you at the internship?
It depends on who's talking to me. Like the people on the same
general level
work stratum as me call me Dev, but the closer they get to my father, the more likely they are to call me August.
All right, and where are you at in the company? What's your day-to-day look like?
That's an excellent question.
Once again, educational stream for anybody who wants to understand what it's like to be an intern at a hedge fund.
Yeah. See, that's probably like small windowless office. Like, I have my dad has enough pull that it's like you actually get an office and aren't just out in some like bullpen cube. But it's also like in the basement, and
it is technically a broom closet, but I mean,
yeah,
we changed a few things around. All right, you are sitting in your technically a corner office. It is on the corner of the building.
Yeah.
It is just in the basement. It's a true fact. You are doing the mother of all data entries. So what you do is you pull information from one Excel spreadsheet to a second Excel spreadsheet, which feeds into a third Excel spreadsheet, which you must check for accuracy, because that will feed into a fourth Excel spreadsheet, and if it gets messed up, you don't even want to know the mania. It's going to be insane. So that's a high priority. Obviously, since the high priority is super intense, you get your headphones in, listening to music. That can actually be played. You're actually going to have some cheaper headphones, maybe something old school. We'll have to figure it out, because you are always dripping in magic.
Yep. Drip.
Well, it's not high stress stuff. You'll be fine.
What I'm thinking is like I have I suppose we're in 2003. So like there's one corner of the office that I never go in, and there's a small speaker there.
That makes sense. And you've mapped it out. You know exactly when the speaker starts to fade.
Yeah,
and
it's
you hit that chalk mark in the wall.
Yeah.
You're done.
If I slide the chair too far over, it's
All right. Well, you've been doing this for the past 2 hours. Your brain is starting to get fried, and you hear a knock at your door.
Come on in.
It is James. It is your very lame manager directly above you. He actually is not James Brown. His name is James, but I don't have a last name for him because I didn't prepare.
Is he kind of thin, rail-like?
Is he thin and rail-like?
Perhaps?
I don't know. That's how I describe a lot of people at this point. Yeah. I don't know what to do, so I'll go against type. He's larger and charger.
Okay, so he's not so slender, James.
Not so slender, James. I don't have many names in my repertoire. We just have to be really understanding about New Orleans being named like 5 different names.
Anyway, another McClue.
Another McClue. Yeah. Well, that was on purpose. That is thematic. Yep. That one's a thematic choice. It's not a poor naming structure of mine at all. Anyway, so James comes into your office. He is asking you for the 15th time about filling out that Excel spreadsheet a lot faster. And he's wondering what the holdup is. It's been 2 hours, and he's blaming your rock and roll music, regardless of what actually is playing in the speaker.
Okay.
And we're going to go ahead and start with your comment in the stream, because he's actually too boring to listen to.
I mean, mechanically, this takes a certain amount of time. I'm doing it mechanically as fast as humanly possible.
We pause on him as a human being again, because very boring. He continues to try to understand why it's not going faster. It's just data entry, he says. And he keeps on just kind of berating you, wondering how you got this job if you're so stupid. He does actually not know who your father is.
Yeah.
No, he has no idea who your father is, unfortunately. He's not well prepared for this conversation. Hang up.
Okay, so if it takes me 3 seconds to move one entry from Excel spreadsheet A into Excel spreadsheet B, and another 3 seconds to go from B into C, then another 3 seconds, say 4, to confirm against Excel spreadsheet C or Excel spreadsheet C against Excel spreadsheet A, that's 10 seconds per entry. There are 14,000 entries on this spreadsheet.
Why can't you just move A into E?
Because that's not protocol. The protocol that Mr. Sanderson laid down, the guy who's above you, says that we
At
have
the
to do
mention
it
of
this
Mr.
way.
Sanderson, he starts to perk up.
Yeah.
How do you know
Said-
who Brian Sanderson is?
Well, first off, he was in the interview for my internship here. I seem to recall that you weren't, but you know.
Got him! All right, that guy
So-
takes 12 points of psychic damage. Good luck with that fallout, buddy.
He just dies.
He just
immediately.
dies.
Yeah.
We can, but to go
No,
ahead and do extended psychic damage, we're just
Yeah.
gonna assume it hits and hits hard. That was mean.
That was me.
So that
Too
was what I meant.
truthful.
But also, if you read the monthly newsletter that comes around, that was in we're in September now. I think it was back in June that they laid out this new policy.
With a
I would
slight
have
amount
expected
of
to-
effort, you are able to realize that he hasn't been reading the newsletters and didn't realize that important information was being kept on there, and has to scurry back to his office with his tail between his legs. You're able to finish out your day with relative ease and are able to get out pretty soon in time. You've been doing the well, it's not like crime hunting kind of thing, but you have been meeting up with Romaine and Austin, who theoretically are on the side of good. So
I
after
mean,
work,
they live in my house, so I hope I see them occasionally.
Yes, correct. I might as well just continue with the storyline. All right, so back at your house, you get the other superheroes you guys hang out with.
Back at the Hall of Justice. Wait,
Back at the Hall of Justice.
back at the Hall of Moral Ambiguity.
There we go.
Sometimes.
That's
more accurate.
everyone else, I think, is probably here now because everyone else is unemployed.
Willfully.
Begrudgingly.
Devil's in the details. One of these days.
Okay.
Are you just getting back from work, Dev?
Yeah, mate. Somebody has to pay bills around here, so.
I mean, I'm bringing in a decent amount when I'm catching these no good doers, evil doers. I feel that does feel wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, while we're definitely not bringing in as much as you, I mean, I won't argue that. However,
I mean, you'd be bringing in more if you weren't throwing every other guy you caught to that freaky ass boss of yours.
well, it's not every other. It's usually just the cool ones and the interesting ones.
Sorry,
that
2
he
out of
wants
3.
now.
And yes,
All right.
I know the starving artist in life is difficult. Yeah. Thank you.
Technically, he's a freelance artist for everyone who cares about that kind of thing, because he does technically sell art for money. He just uses it.
Mhm.
He just uses it.
Yep.
He does. I mean, Romaine has actually been doing just fine. He's never needed to work at the tattoo shop. He just likes redheads, I guess.
I mean, if you're making resources off of art, I hate to break it to you what you're drawing, but you're drawing niche porn.
This is true facts. This is
Very
guaranteed
niche.
true facts.
This,
You're drawing
Resources
hentai.
for,
You're
yeah.
drawing furry hentai. I mean, that's
That does
literally
change
all
everything.
you're drawing. Yes. Well,
Then
in
all-
real
yeah.
life and in
Yeah.
fake life, honestly. Wish I could draw niche porn. Anyway,
Yeah. I was
Alright.
trying to phrase it.
speaking of niche porn,
Oh my
I mean,
god.
I probably
mean, if-
would if you
if-
paid her the right amount.
if the money was right and the subject matter was right, I'm not saying no.
But if you just want your characters drawn, she's a great person to go to.
Yep.
Much better option. Always That's for closed characters, in my opinion. Forever. I don't know. Hey, I'm just an old-fashioned DM right here. Anyway,
to
so
each their own, but moving
The
on.
king champion here.
to each their own. I'm so sorry, folks. I guess we're gonna have to introduce the plot again, real hardcore. We'll hear a knock at the door.
Oh, my
The
bad.
first time we've actually heard a knock at the door in this game. So it's not an overused trope, I promise. No. I don't know.
Well, none of us have cell phones that work. They probably break all the time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Doorbells.
Also, 2003, probably not a whole lot of cell phones, mostly landlines, I feel like.
I'm pretty sure Austin just has like an old school Nokia. Because, I mean,
Yep.
If he turns it off before he like hangs out with you guys, it'll keep working.
Yeah.
And every so often, I just replace it with a new number, just to keep mysterious like.
I wasn't.
Not that I know of. Nose goes. All right, cool.
Oh yeah, there'd be a peephole.
All right, you see Sean. He's looking a little bit worried. Yes, it is. Can you let me in? I can bleed for it if you have to. Sean goes ahead and holds a knife to his finger just in case. I can bleed for you if I have to. He slices his hand. The blood is red. It looks regular, like a normal human being's.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Whew. Oh, well, thank you so much. He crosses through the threshold into the barrier of the house. I couldn't tell you during our actual meeting. I hate to tell you, but a lot of our conversations have been monitored to evaluate our ability as wardens. My abilities as a warden. When I say our, I mean me and my fellow wardens. I apologize. I didn't mean our as in you and me, as like a third, like a plural first person noun. You know what I mean? No, not now. Not when I'm off the clock. I have the warden cloak off and the sword off. I have to tell you something important. Okay. He comes out inside and holds a beer, and everything. He pull. I guess.
Sure.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
He looks at Austin and he says, "Oh, I didn't realize he'd be in here. Hello."
Yeah,
yes,
I do live here. I mean,
I do keep forgetting. He looks a little suspiciously, and then he kind of like closes off a dome of air in between his conversation with Romaine and Devin himself. Anyway,
I'm making it excellent.
Anyway, this is really only relevant to the magic users in the area. There has been somewhat of a mutiny inside of the orders of the White Council. You see, normally I wouldn't have the power to make these kinds of decisions, but you see, I'm the highest ranked warden we have right now.
Wait, are you guys? I see your lips moving. Hello?
Look, I have I have a lot of control over who can see things and hear things at this moment, and I don't exactly think anyone outside of a direct magic user needs to hear this, but the Wizardly Order of the White Council is about to fall apart as we speak. You can see he is, like, frantic. He's freaking the fuck out. Colin, you can see freaking the fuck out. He reminds you of a spider who's like trapped in danger of some kind. I know.
All right, Sean, let me take this one real quick.
Okay.
You know all those big bag scary things that attack normal human beings on a regular basis and just do kind of whatever they want because there's no one there to keep them in check?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's okay. All those things are you familiar with them, Romaine? No, you're
The
not.
answer was no.
No, you're not. You're not familiar with the things that just like on a whim go out every night and no. All those things that we don't have to deal with on a fairly regular basis because they're scared.
You said there's like a wind wall in between me being able to hear?
Yeah.
What is this? All right, I'm going to start like chucking little pieces of popcorn or something at it.
You hear, you both on both sides of the area, you hear teeny tiny booms, like a infinite amount of air trying to be pressed against itself as the vacuum between the barriers keeps opening and closing.
That's exciting. Boom! Yeah, that's pretty cool. Boom!
Are you sure he can be trusted?
Boom!
Okay, at this point, it's really not a matter of can he be trusted or not, because he's going to find out. Either we're going to go do something about this, or you help him with this, and he's going to tag along, whether we want him to or not.
Okay, he closes the wind wall and lets Austin back in the conversation. All right.
Damn it, Austin!
Ooh, my bad.
All right, if you guys continue to get trusted, I'll let him know. Well, basically, things are really bad, and the Wizardly Council of White Council goodness is gone. Nearly entirely. Okay. So it all happened last night. The thing is, what we found out was that a huge amount, basically every single young warden we have on staff, all started fighting. And not like a verbal argument. They started physically fighting each other. Even inside the halls of Edinburgh, where you really can't just cast magic willy-nilly. There were punches being thrown by like 40 or 50-year-old men. Children! We... and then... All right, and then the older members of the Warden's Council, they went and they slaughtered Lafortier in his office. He died immediately, and then this morning,
that's a good question.
We have fights against the Red Court of Vampires this morning, and Lafortier's gone. We don't have any of his notes. They burned his whole office. We have nothing. Anyway, sorry. Lafortier is an expert on the Red Court of Vampires, just in case you might be wondering. And now he's dead.
Well, that's interesting. Is there an expert on the? Never mind. I'll go back to it. We'll circle back.
Actually, unfortunately, she's no longer with us. Margaret something. Anyway, so scary things, end of the world, right?
Red
So,
fight.
well, you've been relatively uninvolved with the entirety of the council's politics. I'm just letting you know why I'm not going to be here as often. I need you to be on your best behavior. I trust you, okay? If it were up to me, we never would have started all of this stuff. You've never exhibited any amount of necromantic behaviors or anything, and we have seen you in plenty of scrapes. If I would have seen you use necromancy to save your life, it would have been against any of the times you were up against vampires. So I believe you. I just need you to keep your head low and not use a bunch of crazy magic to maybe blight a swamp, and then we can just keep ourselves fine until all of this badness with the Red Court of Vampires is over. You know what I mean?
But just going back to this whole warden situation here. You say you are now the senior warden?
Yes. Unfortunately, Anastasia and Morgan Donald were lost in the fighting. We found them physically wounded and killed inside of Lavortier's office. Apparently, the old man got up and he was able to deal a couple lasting blows before he went off, and Anastasia and Donald were closest with weapons drawn.
I see. And so why weren't you there with the fighting?
Oh, I was trying to secure a deal with the Winter Court of Fairies. For some strange reason, Summer Court has basically been letting the Red Court run around anywhere they want, and the Winter Court has just been kind of silent about it, and you don't expect that sometimes. Anyway, I was a little tired after my fight with the Lugaroo, but I think I'm on my way to a good agreement. Unfortunately, I was an Arctis tour at the time. Cold place.
Kyle, Tim, question for Kyle.
Yes.
Banshee. Which court?
Oh, the Banshee are older than the courts. The courts arrived in the Battle of Hastings.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's kind of up to them, but it would kind of be like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yes, Wild Fate would be the technical distinction.
Okay.
New question. Is there an expert on the Black Court of Vampire?
Yes, there is. Yes, of course.
How long ago did the White Court Margaret person, like, how long has she not been in office? In, I don't know what you call it.
The White Court expert was killed about 30 years ago in childbirth. It was a horrible moment. She knew the most of White Court vampires of anybody, but I wouldn't exactly call her a trusted source, if you know what I mean. She is not a trusted source. She is compromised by the enemy. Well, yes, when you're studying the White Court's the enemy. That's what ops are. It's spy ops. Mm-hmm. You're learning about people you might eventually one day have to fight. I'm the highest ranked warden. I'm not the only one here. Goodness. You guys are crazy. You must be misunderstanding me. I was promoted after I fought the Lugaroo in Chicago. Lost the guy, but gained a little ranking. So maybe you forget.
Well, so if people are dying and things are going a little south, where does that leave the White Council?
I don't want to speak to that about you. So here's the thing that's going to go on with the White Council. It will continue on. The roles are universal. They are things that must continue on in perpetuity. The problem is how much power behind those roles. So if you have any other aspects or mantles to power, it would be wise to go ahead and take them, because we may be a little dry at the moment. Not that it was a problem for you guys, non-members, all three.
So do we just go about our business like normal, or is there something we should be doing here?
You obviously would go about your business as normal. This never really affected you, but for the magic users in the group, you are going to lose the innate protection that we offer the magical community by existing and being a showing force in the world. You have to think of it like America and perhaps the European, Middle Eastern, and Russian borders. They keep everything strong so that you at home, American citizens and European citizens abroad, can sleep calmly. And now they're gone. So I don't know what's going to happen to the whole freaking world. All I'm saying is keep your head low, don't attract a lot of attention, and don't go into crazy fights. Because we cannot handle a war right now. We are barely hanging on. Anyway, how you been?
Not too bad, actually. Getting some leads on some investigation that I've been working on.
Well, that's good to hear about. Oh, really? That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, your great couple of times removed aunt is doing fine.
Okay. How? All right. Anyway, that's probably a smart move on her part. That's a shame.
So, just a question for you, Sean. You're talking about the red court being an issue. Are we expecting them to be an issue here?
Yes, we have information of a red court vampire moving back into the area. We hadn't seen him for about 200 years. We thought he wasn't going to come back. He's the Viscount of Germany. He lives in the, I believe, he gives you an address. It's actually a famous location. This is a well-known article of lore for anyone who grew up in the area. This is a man who in the 1800s was arrested for charming and then draining the blood of women inside of his house. He was ordered to be hung, but they could not find the body on the day of the hanging, and he disappeared and has been reported several times since then. Bit of information.
Vampire. Quick rundown for the clueless one in the group. What is
a red court vampire is basically like a large bat-like creature that wears the skin suit of a human. They have weak points on their stomach where they keep a large sack of blood, and their head where their brain is kept. Well, that's what they say.
So very similar to like the vampires in Doctor Who, that one Doctor Who episode for the people that know.
These are your classic vampires. They drain blood and they require it for weird different bits of magic. And these are probably your second most innately magical group. Although really it's kind of a toss-up. Oh, do watch out. Their spit is addictive and it will create a kind of hallucinogenic effect. So if you're some kind of degenerate, you could also use that for some kind of recreation.
Yeah, and I used to know. I mean, okay, Raph had his problems, mate. Raph had his problems. Don't worry about it.
Oh, and what?
Yes.
What did I say? Yes. The Vicon's moving back into town. And finally, one last thing I had to tell you, and I just wanted to let you know, my great several times removed aunt has some good news for you, and from what I understand, some pretty spooky news that she couldn't tell me because as she is, as I quote, a white council bitch. So that would be up to you guys. That is a Gwenism indeed.
Yes. Yeah, she calls him that all the time.
Okay, that doesn't hurt at all. That's a fine thing. I will move on with my
in
life.
an endearing way.
I don't understand how that could be endearing. But I'm going to move forward and move on with my day.
It's kind of like bless his heart.
White cancel bitch energy, you know? That's what you're rocking.
Yeah.
I just don't see. Anyway, I'm gonna go. You guys have a nice night. He leaves. I patch him too. Oh yes, drive 10 miles an hour slower than usual. All right. As he leaves, he gives you help with driving tips.
Hydroplaning is a real thing.
Drive under 35 miles an hour if you see a large puddle.
It can happen.
Even
the lightest rains.
Yes, the advice is always there. So where are you guys gonna go next? You guys have a lot of options of where to go for information. In general,
I'm gonna go to Gwen because
sounds good.
I might go somewhere different. Should I stay with the group? All right.
You can go somewhere else if you like.
I think it's time for me to go to the library and learn a thing or two.
All right. Well, roll run the library real quick, just so we can get Austin in the game. Yeah, Colin. This time, we are hearing a story from the Book of Revelation. The beast has been unleashed upon the land, and the whore of Babylon walks the earth, and the Antichrist himself
Hey,
is
now.
moving into power. We see everything coming into fruition. The plans are finally laid bare, and the beast marches on Bethlehem. This is a wild ride with full abandon of voice and information. And of course, because this isn't actually his culture, just really hamming it up. Anansi tells the story, basically ending right when the beast actually approaches and hits the gates. Pausing for that week, seeing that you're here, taking a nice bow, and letting things dissipate slowly as he goes to meet you. All right, Austin, how has it been?
How? What? Well, doing pretty good. Catching people every so often for you, and keeping on, as you say. Uh, Heard some interesting information. Had some questions for you.
Okay.
Haven't really gotten further with the freaking white court. They're not very talkative bunch. Also, they definitely don't think the black court's around here, which has been a little bit of a pain. So I have, even in this whole year, haven't really made any strides toward finding out who killed my mom, finding out why my mom is so disliked, liked, confused in the white court of people, and heard that there is a red court vampire making his way downtown, walking fast, faces past. He's homebound.
Okay. Well, I was just about to tell you, I feel like you may be at the edge of what talking and asking around can really get you. And it might be time for you to start thinking about other methods of getting that information. However you like to go about it.
We
All
talking
types
now?
of skills. No. All types of skills are able to be learned. They just come with steep prices.
Uh, got like
Imagine.
such as here?
Yes. Imagine if you didn't have to talk to a person before you killed them to get the information you wanted. You just ate it right out. Just shucked open their head and slurped it out of their brains.
That's interesting.
Think about it. Think about it. It's an option. It's always a thing on the table.
What do brains taste like?
Oh. It's a little bit like, have you had liver before?
Well, yeah.
It's a little bit like that, only a little bit stringier, because it's made of like rubbery, stringy material. It's really great. Good to chew through, but it might be an acquired taste sometimes. I don't know. That's what I'm heard. That's what I'm told. So, anyway, I realize that I am needing a little bit of a snack soon. I have a few new things I'm trying to get through, and I have an idea. Because there's a few things lining up, a couple planets aligning right now, and I could really use a big hit right now. So, what I'm thinking is you solve this rainstorm that's going around.
I sell it?
No, you solve it.
I make it stop raining?
There's a mythological reason to the rainstorm, and if you solve it by feeding me the creature, I and the rain, things go off well, and then I can do what I need to get done.
All right. Well, where would I find this rain creature?
Lake Pontchartrain.
Let me write that down. Hold on 1 second.
Directly north of us. It's the biggest lake.
Lake.
How long have you been in this city?
Like 3
It's
years
been like
now.
years.
Oh, it's that big one. They call it a horseshoe lake.
Yeah, the giant lake directly north of us.
It
Yes.
doesn't even look like a horseshoe. I always wondered about that. Anyway,
Anyway, there is a monster. His name is Punchy, and he's a bit of a monster. So you may have to do a little hard work. You know what I mean?
right.
Just a little bit of a hint. Yeah.
How big are we? Stop me when I get there. Stop. All right, that's too big. I gotta start over. we like twice my size. We talking like you and your other form size. We talking bigger than that.
I probably couldn't fit it inside of this building. Is like long
Okay.
wise. If I like trammed it inside of the cement frame of the building, I probably couldn't fit it in there. This is enormous.
So how are you gonna eat them?
Well, like you only ever can, one bite at a time.
How do I get him? Okay, more. I'm not talking about like. I'm talking like, how do I bring him to you? Or are you gonna come to him?
Oh, I actually already have that prepared. He pulls down a little teeny tiny. It looks like a dream catcher, but the culture's all wrong. A little teeny tiny dream catcher, and he hands it to you. This is a way in and out of my realm. I can get in anytime I want. All you got to do is lay it down, give me a call, and I will come running. I can't fight Ponchiel by himself. You need to wear him down a bit and do a little bit of work, but it's doable.
How much like, does he need to be like limping? Is he gonna be like, is there like a way he'll like turn red or something if I know it's about time?
No, you're gonna need to distract him as hard as you can. I don't know how much damage you're gonna be able to do, but he needs to be looking in the exact opposite direction when I jump in, so I have a chance to do it.
All right, so I just got to get him looking away from where I put down this here portal.
Yes, but it's gonna take a lot more than just whistling and go woo over here. You're gonna have to slap him around a little bit. He doesn't pay attention to insignificant things like a single shot from a gun or a sword or
That's my next question. Is it if he's made of rain? I don't know if he is, and I shoot him. Can I hurt this guy with the guns and the web that
oh no
the
I'm
guns and the
sorry.
web that I have?
He controls the rains. He's making it rain hard. He's the reason it's raining so hard right now and makes it harder to get access to it, especially by your magical friends, who I'm assuming will be hanging out with you as you accomplish this task. I'm hoping, anyway. Now, what you are going to be able to do is use your webs, of course, which will be underwater, so you got to watch out for that kind of thing. It's got skin like a creature, so it's going to be like a regular thing. It's just going to be really hard to hit. And if you do a scan of like the lake, you aren't going to find it because he lives in an underwater kingdom inside the lake in a little teeny tiny hole inside a Lake Pontchartrain. All right?
Wait, so he's underwater?
Underwater. Yes.
This might be a bad time. I can't hold my breath for that long.
Have you done a lot of practice with your webbing?
I mean, I've done some swinging and some catching and some trapping.
Anansi just moves his arms like this, and he creates what is essentially a self-contained breathing apparatus out of webbing and air, and it pokes up a little reed into the above the water area, allowing you to breathe as normal as you go further and further underwater. Have you really done a lot of work with this webbing stuff?
Honestly, I need to pay a little bit more attention, I imagine. So let me just.
It's going to require a performance check from you to create something nice.
I'm getting all. Let me try that again. Hold on. Well, I'll figure this out, and then I'll figure that out, and then, well, I guess if I put down the portal, do I just call your name, or what's the situation there?
Call my name. I'll appear.
All right.
Excellent. All right, you've done a great job, Austin. Wonderful work as a lore keeper. Hopefully, this marks the end of all of this. And he shuts off conversation with you and he walks away. Yes, he immediately turns and walks down a hallway.
Well, all right. Guess I gotta play with this web a bit more. I wonder what I could do with it. and then I will head back to the house, where I assume they aren't because they're doing something else.
All right, and you guys are going to go talk to Gwen.
Yep.
Gwen's sitting at home, reading some kind of magazine. You can't tell that because she's behind a closed door
Yeah.
that is also locked. Ah. Who is that?
Yeah. It's me and Romaine.
God. All right, come on.
All right.
Yep. She stands up. She stands up, stomps on the floor a few paces, and then unlocks the door and then opens it. Yeah.
So we got a visit from White Council bitch earlier,
Sean? Okay.
Yeah. and
I
he
did tell him.
he mentioned that you had something you wanted to talk to us about.
You got info on Janet.
Mm.
Problem is, I had to use my most stable charm possible because of the rainstorms, and it is dropping in and out. The only thing I could possibly do was to triangulate the effect. The best as I can tell, I think she's been one of the captives, one of the recent people going missing around the shores of the lake.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure how this worked out for. Oh, right here. And then over there. Oh, here. What was I saying? Oh yeah. We're not entirely sure when exactly she got back onto the realm, but the second it's just about starting this weekend, we started getting a large amount of energy from her samples, all pointed towards the lake, all surfacing for about a couple hours every day or so. Other than that, static. No, just Janet. That's all I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not. No, it's docile though. I don't imagine Punchy doing anything dangerous. It's a relatively harmless creature. Controls the rain, starts the swamp. It doesn't demand sacrifices. It relies on the ecosystem of the swamp to do most of its feeding. And now it really can only resolve that caloric deficit by having human sacrifices. It's a magical thing instead of an actual caloric thing. It's a very awkward conversion rate on that one.
Yeah.
As we all know, humans are incredibly calorically deficient when it comes down to eating their actual meat. Educational stream.
Yep.
I would do it once again, forever. Anyway. I mean, you could use a running swamp, which I think is the plan. You overrun the land, you flood it back with water, you see what trees and other roots start to plant. It just has an unfortunate side effect of flooding everything and all the things people have built. You're not sure. It seems like it might be some kind of long venture.
Scale of years.
It,
10th?
it's like you were going to, what's the phrase? What's like a good mythological character who would just really identify this feat of working constantly with basically no reward? If I had one for you, I'd give it to you.
Forget his name. What is his name?
Sisyphus. Yeah, it's Sisyphus. Yes.
But both unpleasant.
Correct.
Ah,
All right.
thanks so much, hon. I really appreciate it. And I mean, really, we could just save some time. Just give me a damn key.
Okay, fine. She goes in. She picks up a key that has the number 7 written on it. She gives it to you.
All right.
Just an innocuous number randomly assigned to the key.
Yeah,
You know how it is. Yeah, you know how it is.
It could have been anything. It could have
Who
been.
knows? No, I mean, who can even understand what these numbers could possibly mean? It might just be like a key designation, like a number 7 style key, you know?
Yeah.
Like a number 2 pencil.
Or the 7th key that she's given out. You know?
Who knows what it could mean?
Yeah. I mean, look. Look.
Anyway, I'm also going to tell you one other thing. Look, I don't know what to do because I wasn't expecting to rely on the White Council for stuff, but I had a lot less like things to do when the White Council was around. So, do you guys mind saving them? Because if I all of a sudden become the only source of magical knowledge in the entire city of New Orleans and possibly the state of Louisiana and possibly the region of the Southeast, I do not know what I will do because I will never stop talking to people and I will kill someone and there will not be a White Council to stop me. Mortal dollars? What do I want those for? Like, anybody can be rich.
You should see her family's castle. It's really nice. Kind of creepy, but really nice.
I could go home, I guess. I just don't want to go back to my parents. Oh, God. Okay, anyway, not important. Just save the White Council of Wizards. Just do what 100 other trained wizards inside of their stronghold couldn't do and stop this nonsense. I really don't, but I make my own luck. She hands out her horseshoe charm, her 4-leaf clover charm, and her laurel wreath headpiece. The laurel wreath goes off to Dev. The horseshoe charm on a necklace goes to Austin, and then Dev. Sorry, no, not
Austin's
Dev gets
not there.
2. Austin's not there, so right. Dev gets 2. And we'll only give 1 to Romaine. And Romaine, you get the 4-leaf clover on a little ring. Okay, so these are really easy to use. You just say the trigger word, Oct, and that will activate the luck charm. That will make one of the things go out. You see on the horseshoe, you see 7 little rings where there would have been nails instead of an actual horseshoe. When she says the trigger word, one of the lights go out in the middle of the thing. This has 7 charges. You might have to come back to me for charging, but I guess Romaine might be able to figure it out. Shouldn't be too hard to do. This one, she holds up the 4-leaf clover, has 4, obviously. Super simple, easy to understand. And finally, the laurel thing itself. 11 golden leaves are up at the top. All of them are shining. They will dim as they get used as well. You don't have any more uses of these. They need to last you until basically, honestly, you get done with all of this stuff. So be pretty sparing with it. Other than that, I am going to go and visit my aunt because I don't want to be around for this part.
Be sure to say hello for me.
Of course, she thinks of you fondly.
And I her.
All right. Well, you guys have been good. Thank you for your hospitality. Let me offer you this gift in respect of your hospitality. She holds out a small note card with a handwritten note, and then drops it on the floor and then leaves. etiquette is important to her. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, I would have taken it from her. She doesn't have to drop it on the floor.
She's obstinate. It's these things.
I just see that, like, no, I'm gonna. Yeah. All right, and what does
Just
the note card?
thanks. Just thanks. He's just trying to get out of the room. It's a lot of culture stuff. You're gonna have to get over. You know how it is.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn.
All right. She then she gets permission to leave, assuming you guys are all okay with that whole thing, because otherwise she's just gonna have to poop out of there.
Yeah, that's
No, she does not.
lots of question marks.
Big things being asked of you with really no way to accomplish them. You know. All right. Let's go ahead and talk to anybody else.
I mean, we got to meet up at the house.
Yeah.
Good plan. Okay.
Oh, nice to see you guys back. I got a couple questions for you guys. I don't know if you guys. I talked to my pal, the Spider Bro. Have you guys heard of the Ponta? What was it again?
Like
Pontanary.
Train?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Whoa. Were you there? How do you? What?
I mean, everyone knows about Lake Poncho Train.
Well, I mean, I always heard of it, Horseshoe Lake. I don't know why. I know, but we all called it Horseshoe Lake. I don't know, Ponta Train. Okay, I've always heard Horseshoe Lake. That is just.
We went there one weekend to swim.
Yeah.
And we called it Lake Pontchartrain every time we said it to you.
I don't believe
And
any
then,
of that.
oh look, we're getting close to Lake Pontchartrain.
Most of that doesn't sound real. Anyway, Horseshoe Lake. We kind of need to go there. Well, let me ask you this first. You know the rain coming down. You guys said that was like a problem for you, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what if we made it stop raining? Is that a good thing? Well, maybe. And I might have a way to control the weather, turns out. Well, I mean, there's one way to stop the rain. Me, you, and him probably can't do it all ourselves. So I brought in a little backup, as to say. Emphasis on back, in fact. You mean a Nazi? I do believe that, yeah. Oh, I mean, he makes it rain. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I've learned in science class it'll rain without him, but it won't just keep on keeping on raining like it's doing now.
Well, see, we do also have, well, actually, I suppose I don't necessarily know that the two things are connected. Because it might have to do with his magical deficiency. But, anyhow, yeah. Yeah, it
What?
will.
You guys are talking around something without getting to the point. What do you got? What the hell? The monster?
Yeah, so Ponchi's food source, came from the swamp, basically.
All right.
The swamp is dead.
Yep,
So
did
he's
know
not
that.
getting that food source. It
Uh-huh.
seems as though this rain is caused by the disruption to Ponchi.
Okay. Well, what's his new food source then if he can't eat the swamp or whatever he was doing?
Yeah, that's the problem. People.
Yes, I have heard that. It
So the
wasn't
ones
me. It wasn't
the ones
me.
that aren't
Okay?
your boss.
I'm telling you, the normal people go missing, promise you, not me. If I desperately need feeding, I go down to the White Court place, 4. You made a real big jump here in
Oh man, you started doing math.
Right. Well, I kind of put together what you were saying, but all I'm saying is it wasn't me, just so you guys know. So if you guys have a problem with Paunchy, and my spider friend has a problem with Paunchy, we can't handle Paunchy on our own. I got some back up. Yes. Just like blowing up a swamp.
Wow, came for you right
Yeah,
there.
and you think about how much shit we've given him for blowing up the swamp, and that was spur of the moment. You're talking about premeditated potential devastation on the same scale.
Right, but if he's eating people, isn't he bad? We could just get rid of him. I eat bad people. There's a difference. Also bad people, usually.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I only feed them bad people. Or at least, well, pretty much, yeah, only bad people. I've only fed them people that have specifically tried to kill me. So, I mean, that's self-defense and or they're evil. That is literally the only way I've fed a Nazi. Well, I don't go into the details. The devil's in those. So I don't need to dive down in them personally.
We're gonna butcher it.
I'm gonna change an aspect of devil in the details at this point. I don't know how it's gonna work because I don't even know how that sentence works.
Yeah,
But it's gonna be in there.
Have you not thought of like googling the sentence and like a few
Nah,
examples?
this is much more fun. I specifically
I
stayed
can't go
away
into the
from it.
details. The devil's in there. There's
Yeah.
a fantastic line that I wish I had written into a book.
Feel free to
There's
use
still time.
it.
There's still time, but
Meg, if you're out there listening, write it.
okay.
So where were
We
we?
will go with you. At least I can't speak for Romaine. I will go with you to deal with Ponchi.
Dope. Feels like there's a butt coming.
Dope.
There is a butt coming,
All right.
and that is, but we're not summoning your freaky ass boss unless we have to.
Wait, I mean,
One of the three of us is in mortal danger. Have to.
how else are we gonna fight him?
See, that's the thing. We're hoping to not fight him.
Oh. Well, if he's eating people and we're just going there to have a conversation, that seems a little.
No, people are disappearing there. We don't know that he's eating them. In fact, the one person that we know of who disappeared has been reappearing for about an hour each day, suggesting that he's not eating them. Because, I mean, it's. The whole magic thing is a bit off to me. But, why do people farm?
To eat.
To have a renewable source of food.
All right. So he's farming people? That sounds a little gross. Is he making them? We talking like? I don't want to talk about that. All right. Well,
No, not. We're just saying he's letting them live so we can eat off of them more and more and more frequently. Like he keeps them alive so we can keep on eating.
no.
They don't.
I mean, that's what White. Yeah, at the bar. That's what we do at the bar all the time. Yeah, so I get that. I mean, easy come, easy go. Uh, I let them leave. They also come in on their own volition. I haven't kidnapped them to repeatedly feed. Like if you went up to my room right now and there are about 4 or 5 dudes just hanging from the wall in terror that I was feeding on every so often, maybe then look into there might be a problem going on.
Okay.
No, those are the lady friends. Like I said, I do pretty well.
Those are the lady friends I brought over, goddammit.
I told you I'm doing pretty decently.
But see, we don't actually know that the situation's not the same. Because I mean, honestly, there is every chance that normal people, if they have the opportunity to get involved with some sort of godlike being, and could have extracted themselves at some point, but they would choose not to because
Even
it's
with
new,
incredible
exciting,
warnings.
and different. Janet,
Janet.
Damn it, Janet.
Damn it, Janet.
yes, I know, I know it is.
Okay. All right.
So we go and we gather information, and if we need to murder the bastard, you can do your creepy thing. Uh,
Nice Harry Potter reference. I dig it. Anyway, continue.
hey, it's not a reference. That movie hasn't come out yet.
That is a prediction as we understand
Yeah.
it now.
Actually, you just spoken into existence, in fact. All right. Well, I guess sounds like a plan to me.
No.
I got a question for Kyle.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got a
what's
question
up?
for Kyle. So when he gave me the portal into his dimension, is that like something I could? Do I have to have it on the ground? Does it have to be on something, or does it just have to be behind him?
Sorta. So if you affixed it to the sky, you could technically do it that way too. You just have to choose to set it somewhere.
It has to be stationary.
Yeah, you're putting down a web for him to come in and out of.
Mm,
So sky, between trees, on the ground, in the water, anything's fine. He's just getting really pissed off if you put a bunch of ocean water or lake water into his domain.
hmm. How big? Like, how big is this? So you said a dream catcher. So I'm thinking this little thing, and I'm thinking if I put this little thing down, he just climbs out of it, or do I build on top of it?
Oh no, he can crawl out of it. I mean, you've seen him go from a teeny tiny little orb weaver to a human-sized monster spider.
Okay. Okay. Colin's thinking of plans, but
That's why I gave you the magic item. I mean, I desperately want to see you use it.
All right. All right. All right.
So road trip over to the lake. Woo! The
Feel like
water gets heavier and heavier and heavier. Anyway, we might need a drive check from someone in the party at this point in time because the rain is so heavy and powerful that it's
I'm
just throwing people off track.
fairly certain I got rid of drive.
I have drive.
There it is.
There we go.
I was also the. Yep, that's a one.
There we go. That's a positive score. We did it. We continue driving out towards Lake Pontchartrain. The rain gets heavier and heavier. By the time you get to the actual like sands of the shore of the lake, it is coming down in what you could easily qualify as sheets. Just Thick rain.
Sheets.
Bad, awful, wipes your magical power every single time it lands on you. You can't build, you can't grow, you can barely cast any magic at all. And you can, yeah. You guys knew you were going out in the rain today. It's been raining for weeks at this point.
So I've got. Oh yeah,
Very, very, very windy. Yeah.
Yes, like I'm full on like slicker rain boots, umbrella.
The full gear to get moving.
Yes.
And what about Austin? What do you got? What does the Georgia boy have for extreme rain weather?
Just some boots and a jacket, a hoodie, an umbrella.
Austin sits in Timberland's teeny tiny 99-cent umbrella and the hoodie of his jacket pulled up against the pouring rain.
It's real wet. I don't like it here.
If he hadn't been...
I'm seeing one of those disposable poncho, like the clear disposable poncho.
He's drenched inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want the whole car ride. I want to be messing with the web to try and make different kinds of either an umbrella kind of situation to expand my terrible little one, or make that same breathing reed thing he made. Just trying to learn.
Go ahead and roll me a, what is that? I guess performance check to create something? Or craftsmanship, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll me craftsmanship and see how that goes.
Yep, that's just a 0, so.
You're not trying to make really hard things, though. Let's see how it goes.
Not well.
Oop.
Stupid. I don't know how he did that.
Mike jerked his hands.
Freaking A. I just pretend. If someone looks back, I just pretend like I'm not doing anything.
My hands aren't stuck. I'm just twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I think I got that, actually.
But you guys are up at the shore of the lake. The wind is howling incredibly loudly as well. It's hard for you to get conversation out when you're not inside the car with something actually blocking the wind out. But you do see the evidence of tracks, and anyone with even the slightest little bit of knowledge, nature, animals, or a spider god would be able to tell you that all of these tracks are leading from the lake into town. And it is not necessarily fit what you would imagine Ponchi's description being. Ponchi's description, everyone who's a local remembers, as a large, giant, oversized whale, carnivorous in nature. So just big, giant mouth open, swallow you up whole, and chew you to pieces is his MO. And this looks a lot more like human-sized fish on 2 feet. So fucking have found us. Oh my gosh.
There's
So as I walk around,
that's an old reference. We're pulling out the nostalgia for today.
As we look upon this here lake, I'm
listening. Hold on.
Keep going. Give me a. What am I seeing here? What's in front of me? We got big trees.
So you see a very large expanse of water that fills up the entirety of your vision on the horizon, aside from the partial pieces of beach you can see on the very far sides of your vision. As you remember, it's a horseshoe type shape. And by the way, we are talking far edge, as in the edge of your actual horizon view, right before the thing dips over the edge.
Not to be an asshole about it, but sheets of rain, not going to be seeing more than 20 feet out into the water.
Thank you. Sheets of rain. You see 20 feet ahead of you. You see more and more sheets of rain than you could possibly imagine. From what you remember of the lake, There's some land on the far edges and everything. You can barely see them if you stretch it, if you looked as far as you could. But as Timmy pointed out, yes, it is raining way too hard for you to see pretty much anything at all. Except for the footprints, which in theory should have been drowned up by the sand, but that must mean they're really recent.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'll
Did we,
keep my plot line.
Did we pass anybody on the way in?
We did not. If only it would have been that easy for me to conveniently forget my plot line. Moving forward. The spell? Oh, yes.
Oh. Yeah. Probably should have
Check
done
the
that
spell.
in the car.
It takes a couple seconds for the actual water to dry off. You've got the water running, a little radio playing, 2002's hits, hardcore playing. Who's got a 2002 hit that's going on the radio right now? Colin, you got one?
I don't
He
got
doesn't
any
know.
in my head.
Shame.
That's a while ago. I mean, I was only.
Complicated.
It's
Was all like
complicated by
that.
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
It's complicated by Avril Lavigne plays on the stereo as you try to slowly warm up your hands. The radio dies as you get the spell going again, as it generally tends to do, leaving you to always wonder what actually did end up happening with that girl and her boyfriend. Anyway, the spell keeps on going. You do not have any actual notification that Janet is in, except for all of a sudden, right now is the 1 hour period that she would have been visible. Her thing comes into focus, appearing as though she came out of nowhere, and then blurring up in your map. However you personally tend to do it, a big giant neon arrow or whatever points directly towards the lake.
Speaking of, I got a question. If you looked at that lake with your special eyes, would that be painful, or do you think we'd learn something?
I will use this moment to warn you that the next several games we will continue to maintain our fate points and consequences and stress as though it were one large session. So before we make the option and the conversation to do this, just, think about that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right.
But could I offer you a fate point to do it anyway? Yeah! 2. Okay. Two fate points.
I feel like I've done
way.
something bad.
2 fate points coming your way to see if you can get a little bit of knowledge coming out of these special lives. Because you are trying to prove yourself that you are the actual wizard around here. Deb just comes around making some door spells, some blocks, some maneuvers here and there. And what do you get to do? None of that cool wizard stuff. Now you're just making boxes and tigers and other stuff. You want to be the wizard again. So you do it. Woohoo!
Got it.
All right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so what we're first going to do is roll your lore to see what you learn. There is a yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, that's. I'm trying to. We're gonna end right when we finish up these descriptions. All right. All right. There is a maximum limit of lore that we can possibly totally learn about this that I'm keeping in my head. I'll let you know if you hit it, just in case, because that will limit the total amount of damage you can take from this. 4. That's easy. Nice. Okay, you learned 4. So what you want to do is now try to roll discipline to control what you learned. You're gonna have to make up the difference in mental damage, and also you can't close your sight this turn, unless, of course, you'd like to use some delicious fate points to get out of this problem you are in. You do not, because I'm gonna have to tell you what you all learned all at once. Tell me, would you like to spend your fate points? Okay. All of a sudden, your eyes get opened up with that cool, awesome comic book effect that you usually see through your sight. The rain goes from what is that phrase? What is that word? Don't know. Don't care. The rain stops obscuring your vision, and you start seeing it as though it's just nice little effects in a little comic book you're reading. You're able to see. That's way too long for the word I was using in that sentence, but it sounds right. So you see the bay layout before you and everything else. You see the entirety of the area, and then you see years of time being demonstrated as though the comic book overlay was lapped on top of itself, trying to represent a fourth dimension image on a two-dimensional surface, terribly, inefficiently, and strains the medium you are using to try to view it in the first place. That is what you... No, you are seeing your brain starting to collapse as you try to look at the thing inside of the lake. Go ahead and roll me another lore.
Oh, good God. I've killed our character by asking a question.
And roll the control. There we go. Control finally. Okay, you take one more just because to activate the site and everything. Every round you have it open, so you take a total of one more stress. But you do peer down deeper into that hole anyway, because you just have to know what's in there. You see further back in the expanse of years, millions and millions of years, back before there were people, back before there were hominids, back before there were mammals, back before there were things with freaking hair, just us and the feathers, man. Us and the feathers and the scales and the fish. It was us all the time ahead of everything else, and we owned this whole world and these stupid, teeny, tiny little apes crawling all over the surface, take over everything, and now I can't even come up to get a breath of air without everyone freaking out. You understand? Just a thought process in the back of your head, like a thought bubble of something deep down inside of that lake.
But it's got like the jagged bottom to the thought
The jagged
bubble.
bottoms, yeah.
With the
angry. It's an angry thought bubble.
Menace, it's just floating off of it like purple, just waves.
But you are able to snap yourself out of the whole thing, taking away a little bit of mental stress today.
So what do we think? Are we going to talk to him, or what's the deal here? So here's the question. If he seems super like... all right. So here's the question. After you looked in there, saw the impending doom that was the thought bubble that I heard. No. So as you looked in there and the horror that I saw on your face, you're telling me we're going to try and talk to him? Do we just want it just in case? Just maybe, perhaps. Fair. Okay. So just by mayhaps, mind you, we just set up a Nazis trap just in case, so I don't have to set it up mid-battle.
Got 3 words for you, mate. Not in mortal danger. 4 words for you, mate.
I'm not going to call him forth. I'm just going to set it up so that the problem is, if we become in mortal danger, it will have been a little too late to call a Nazi, because I kind of have to sit. There's a little bit of setup to this. It's not just like, oh, here he is, save our lives. It's more like you're there and you got your moment now. You know what I mean? So like, if he's not there and we don't got the moment, the now won't work, and we're in mortal danger. It will be too late.
Where are we going to be in mortal danger?
I mean, I imagine when we try to talk to this the whale. Whale.
Clarify. Go ahead and clarify,
Whale.
Dev. Yes. It is if the blue whale is the largest mammal that's ever been known to mankind. This is like no, it's like a feral whale. I don't know if that's a real thing.
It's a dire whale.
Yeah, it's a dire whale.
It's a dire blue whale.
It's a dire blue whale.
Terrifying. Can it fly?
It cannot fly.
Quick question I need to know.
It's a good question. A lot of dire animals can fly. This one cannot. No, it can swim very well.
Okay, and then follow-up question: is it contained to the lake or contained to a never space that is connected to the lake? Because something as big as you're describing.
You rolled an 8. Yeah, you know. It's its own little slice of the never once you get down through that opening.
So what you're saying is we're not talking to it here. We're gonna have to go down into its dimension.
Highly likely.
Frick.
Yes.
Okay, then can we make a new deal? A brave new deal or something. Let's go down there, right? But when we get down there, I'll just split off, set up what would be our a deus machina, as they might say, of saving our butts if we get into it.
You did use it right.
If it's not needed, I'll just go pick it up when we're leaving and not worry about it.
Fine.
Deal. All right. I'm going to try to make that thing again.
All right. Give me one more try, Colin. One more craftsmanship roll.
Dang it.
All right. All right, you guys are going to have to figure out how to find your own way down through the portal into the Never at the bottom of the lake at the start of next game, because that is the end of our time limit. For everyone who's out there really upset about the missing 13 minutes of game time, don't think about it. That's not real. I rounded up.
None of that's true.
And we're 2 minutes shy of 8 now.
All that to be said, seriously, for real, follow us. It helps more than you know. It gives us more motivation to keep doing this, if nothing else, because knowing that people are coming, watching, and following is just huge for us, and especially the DMs that are working very hard to keep these games going. So if you're watching right now and you haven't followed, please just click. It's one click. Do it for us. Second, if you do have Amazon Prime, that is a free subscription to a channel. I would recommend giving it to us. I'd love that, right? But if you don't, at least make sure you use it. Give it to a small channel. Big channels don't need that money. Come give it to us if you want. Give it to another small channel you watch. You know, we'd love to see that. It's an even bigger boost to us. It's a monetary boost to us, being like, I like you this many. And that's really cool for us. And yeah, if you do have and you're liking it even better than that, give us a subscription. That's the biggest way to say, like, I only like you so much that I'll even pay my real money. I'm not even stealing money for this. And it's super big help for us. We stream Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Fridays and Saturdays are D&D, 5e D&D. They got 2 really good campaigns going. I am in one of them. They're in the other. He's not in one of them. I don't know if I was pointing the right way for stream.
No.
So I'm going to go here and then diagonal. They're in another one on Friday. I'm in the one on Saturday. And then we're here on Sunday, every Sunday, or almost every Sunday. If you like role-playing games, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe, all the things. Yeah.
And if you are tuning in tonight, liked what you saw, and want to catch up on back episodes, they are all on YouTube. Snagbeep Dungeons Incorporated channel. There's a playlist for all of the streams or all of the games that we've streamed. So please go take a look there. And yeah, a couple of back episodes that need to be filled in. But quick last plug, one of our folks from the Saturday game that Colin plays in is, I do believe, about to be streaming League of Legends. So that is 31 Gallium on Twitch, and I'll just throw that into chat. So not sure how much Dresden Files League of Legends fan base overlap there is right now, but go check it out.
100% right there, folks. It's
Yep. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and as always, Kyle, thanks for running.
of course.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for the game.
So have a lovely night.
Bye, everybody.